Okay, anyway, let's get into cards. I'm gonna start from the back deck cards, and then I'll get to the front cards. Alright, so we have this card. We have the Three of Cups in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse is happiness endangered, people who don't get along, possibly jealousy or a family quarrel. We have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is rebellion, find your own path, danger of gullibility. We have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, helplessness, shame, confusion, creation by somebody who wants to hold the current back. That would be me. Can't say I'm surprised. We have the Fool in reverse. We have caution, awareness, loss of innocence. Do you really want to know? In my case, no, I didn't. But there was a lot of confusion in my case, and I was just like, I don't even know how the hell I won, let's be honest with you. I was just like, okay, we won. Oh, yay. I was a little surprised myself, because the judge was just like, alright, I'm done, I need to get out of here. And then she just wrapped it up, and I was just like, we won, okay, that's cool. And we had Justice in reverse. We have injustice, an unfair situation, possibly dishonest, legal problems, with the danger of getting arrested. I believe that these people, since they purged themselves on the stand for the prosecution, they did either get prosecuted for that or they went to jail after the fact. Like with me, I don't like watching people get arrested because I myself, there's still PTSD there. But it wouldn't stir me. Let's put it to you that way. If she got arrested, that's her business. If that cop got reprimanded, that's his business. But like, you went in there with that intention to defraud a judge, which I find is a little cheesy and a loss of resource. But anyway, all right, we have the King of Pentacles. Possible loss of money or standing, but maybe the person that came into question his and her values on situations, connecting with others before it's too late. I feel like there was another person in the courtroom which I believe had some political affiliation, that had interest in the outcome of this. And I know who the person is, but I kind of don't want any bad blood going that way, so I'm not going to say anything. But that person had special interest in my case for obvious reasons, because he was kind of pulling the strings and wanted people to stay confused so he could get back into power and other things to happen to, good people that have been around for a while, and have these hooligans fucking tear up a town that's quaint and small and quiet usually, into a boisterous fucking city, which it's a waste of resource. Like, everybody's moving out because, like, they can't deal. It's a cheap way to make a lot of money, you know what I mean? My grandmother would be turning over in her grave if she knew. Ten of Wands. We have the Ten of Wands, somebody who takes on all the responsibilities, whether work or in a relationship. Maybe he doesn't know how to ask for help, or he believes that nobody else will do it right. Or maybe he is afraid of being turned down. Move positively, someone of great dedication. Nothing matters but keeping the leaves off the dream. The mission is alive. So there was somebody here that had other intentions or tried to pull the strings. That's basically what that's saying. We had the Death card in reverse. So resistance of letting go, somebody that may seem in danger, but in fact doesn't need the end. There may be hints of a powerful greater than somebody else can deal with. That would be me. Because I already knew how the case was going to turn out. Like, I wasn't in the dark. They were trying to offer me, like, a plea deal, a cash offer, and all this. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not falling for this crap. You're trying to get away with murder and fuck around and find out. You are about to fuck around and find out. Me getting arrested put the nail in the coffin for these people, and they should have not messed with me. Let's just put it to you that way. We have the Chariot. The Chariot is failure of will or surrender to something more important than yourself. Honesty over escapism and confrontation of something rather than running away from it. That witness ran away with a lot of shit. And it was just like, it was ridiculous. So self-doubt with this card coming out. The Magician. You have self-doubt, questioning what is real, getting help from others. So, that's a lot of stuff there. I just feel like after the fact, there was a lot of haste to, like, pay it off or whatever. But trial in North Carolina is more expensive than it would be in, say, New York City a lot of times. But down here, like, they have, like, land problems, or they have conflict of interest, or they have conflict of business and all this. There was, like, bank robberies down here and shit that were, like, expansive. It was really interesting to hear about a bank robbery in, like, a Kohl's shopping center. Very, very strange cases were around the time that I was in court. So, anyway, we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is nostalgia, happy memories, possibly idealism, generosity. Are memories real? So the witness, the second witness, claimed to have known me. And I couldn't place her for the life of me. Like, I didn't go to school with her, never worked with her in my life, don't know her from Adam. She said we knew each other, we were great friends, and then she kind of pulled back and said, oh, I've seen her like 100 times, or 1,000,000 times. She said 1,000,000 times under oath, but she, like, deflected down to a reality level of, I know of Ms. Montero. I've seen her at her house or whatever. But she went from, oh, we're great friends, to I've seen her 1,000,000 times, to now it's just going down the scale of, oh, I've seen her at her house a lot. The judge took that as a bad sign, and that was her first statement under oath with the judge. So when the judge asked me, do you know this person? I said, I can't place her for the life of me, and that was the truth. Because I've never heard of her name, I've never seen her before in my life. It was just a weird scenario. And, like, I work with, like, pet adoption with cats, and, like, if she would have adopted one of my cats, I would have had her name, number, and address on file. Because I do like to reconnect with people to make sure that their pets are alright and everything's going good with their lives and whatever else they want to, like, give me as information or a story for animal control, because I work with animal control and all that. For pet adoption, for people to find best friends and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I would have had people's names on file. Like, I'm not, you know, like, I know my friends from high school. I know my friends from elementary school because we stay in contact. I know my friends from other countries, like India, France, Greece, Spain, Australia, shit like that, because some of these people have been foreign exchange students in my classes, and we became fast friends. Like, I love learning about new shit. And I remember my friends' names. I remember their birthdays. I remember that they're allergic to shit and stuff like that, like normal friends would. How do I know this woman if I've never interacted with her until that moment in time? That's weird as hell. Like, she was making up shit in her mind, and I don't know, it was bigger in her mind than it was in my mind, because I couldn't place her for the life of me. Like, I remember people. I remember everybody. But you have to interact with me. You can't just, like, it's not organic or osmosis, you know what I mean? With me, it takes a lot for me to say that this is my friend so and so, you know what I mean? We have to have either had classes, an inside joke, war together, something. And I was part of like a debate team. If any of my opponents I came across, I would have remembered them too. Like, I talked to my people that were in the same class as I was. Like, I've had 636 friends my entire life, to be honest with you. My graduating class, I keep in contact with most of those people, and some of them, like, they talk to me like every 5 years or 10 years, and that's fine too. But, like, I stay in contact with people, like, through email, video chat, and my cell phone. My cell phone, it's ridiculous. I need new memory on that, because I talk to people on, like, the phone all the time. And I have an Android, so it's choppy. It looks a mess. But I talk to my friends, like, a lot of times. So, like, I couldn't place her for the life of me. Like, I have every single contact in my phone or in my phone book. I know somebody in the crowd might not know what a actual address phone book is, but yeah, I kept everybody's phone number and everything. And if they upgrade their phone number, they usually email me with that information. But yeah, I couldn't place her for the life of me. I don't know. Alright, we have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles with temptation, things that undermine stability. Something fascinating and mysterious. Alright, and then we have Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is suffering, a dark time, difficulty getting help. Okay, with me, you know, I understand that the other side was having trouble keeping their story straight. I'm gonna say that. And they were trying to, like, feel out me and my attorney. We were ice water incarnate. Like, we were just like, you know, my attorney is a seasoned lawyer. With me, I'm a seasoned, you know, tarot reader. A lot of times it's very monotone when I read the cards, because there's a point of professionalism when you're reading somebody else's cards. When I'm reading my own, I'm very animated, like I am right now. But yeah, with everything, like, if I'm not doing it myself, I'm not gonna really react, you know, if it doesn't move me in a certain way. Like, you could say anything about my job career, my other interests, my, you know, OnlyFans. I've already told my lawyer about my OnlyFans. It was stricken from the record from the word go. You couldn't use that information. You couldn't use my tarot cards. You couldn't use my Facebook account. You couldn't use any social media account. And I have plenty of social media accounts, let me tell you. You couldn't use any of the information found on any of those sites as recon for an investigation or to pull me over the coals. And I wouldn't react to them anyway. But my attorney made sure anything that you said about me had to be given permission to use. So they couldn't use my height, weight, personality as a thing. Because with me, I'm an entrepreneur. I do everything. I'll try anything once as far as business is concerned. Sexually, a little squeamish if another person's in the room. It's a problem. I'm just saying. I've always been that way. Don't know why. Some guys find it cute. Some people don't. It's whatever. I have trauma. So, it happens with the best of us. So, we have the King of Wands here. The King of Wands is setbacks. The realization that forces alone with the greater good of us to get what we want. Seeking assistance might work better immediately, leaving responsibility to return to the life of adventure. So somebody in the room was trying to get help from my attorney, and my attorney was trying to help them. Probably not the help they needed, because he's not a trained psychiatrist, but my attorney understood the look of help when he saw it. And since really we can't spell it out for the prosecution was supposed to come prepared. They were told several times to come prepared. Because my lawyer on my side and my other lawyer that was behind the scenes, yeah, they had no room for error. I'll put it to you that way. If they were bringing up anything about me, it was strictly criticized by a judge, because the judge already knew all this information. I even showed her my OnlyFans before the case. So, just foot pics as far as the eye can see. Facebook, she knew about that. My my MySpace account, I haven't activated since the millennium. She saw that. My Twitter, she saw all that. That's why it's off private now. Because she was looking at that too while we were going through evidence and stuff. So it was a very interesting thing. Like, the judge already knew my entire portfolio. Like, I had nothing to hide, and I told her that. I said, I have nothing to hide. I'm totally fine with you looking through my OnlyFans, my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram, all that stuff. So, there was people trying to hack my Instagram, too, around that time, which the judge, had to find, file, and destroy those people. But, yeah, she knew about my eBay account, my Etsy account, my Buy Me a Coffee account, and some other social medias I had. I had a whole, 100 list back to back. I went over with the judge. She's like, why do I need all this information? I said, because they could bring me up on anything. They would try to sway the judge or, use blackmail against me. And she said, yeah, that's fine. We'll go through the whole thing. So it took me about 3 hours to go through every single social media I had with the judge, which she was totally fine with, because it was used as a form of evidential blackmail. Anything could be said. I was not out of my rights of freedom of speech to say certain things online. One or two things she had concern about. But as far as she saw, she was like, none of this can be used against you. Because under the privacy laws of some of these social medias, you're in the right of the law to post and take pictures or whatever you like. So, I got the okay from a judge. That's why I disbanded my thing. We have the Ace of Cups here. We have, despite the gory imagery, we have golden light shines behind the bat. Happiness, love, and mystery, and strong emotions. Okay? There's a lot of strong emotions here, but we're not getting into that. I was just like, there's a strong emotion of of hatred in the whole thing. It was like painfully obvious that none of these people liked me, or they put on that facade like I was a bad guy, which I wasn't, because my judge and my attorney asked me questions that were on the same level as what they were asking the prosecution. And I answered them. I didn't change my answer. I didn't sway into, like, crowd pleasing. I gave them the honest truth. And I've said it 3 times consistently with the same answer. And it triggered a lot of people in the courtroom to say the things I did in there. But they were the truth. I had picture evidence myself. I had evidence that I had given the judge before. And I had other evidence that was presented that would show that I had more problems with the prosecution than they had with me. And I didn't want to go into that thing and embarrass people, but it was true. I had a lot of evidence. So, with the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Wands in reverse, hard times, but also clarity, helping others, getting help for what will be asked out of it. Maybe not as much as we would want, but hopefully enough. Resisting the desire to leave a situation over charity or other restraints. So there could have been other things going on here behind the scenes, which I didn't know about, wink wink, but I had hidden evidence. I had hidden blackmail intention and other things that the judge already knew about. She had ample time. Like, she had November, December, January, February, and March to go through all the evidence I gave the judge. And that was her evidence to look through. She knew about all my social media accounts. She could go on those anytime she wanted. And there was other things that I gave the judge that was painfully obvious. I have cameras all over my house, and I have security bites that I had given the judge, so she could look through them. I authenticated all that for the judge. She asked me, did I want to use any of this in my testimony? I said no, but as long as she knew that I knew what they had said previous. I had 3,000 videos that was given to the judge on 3 terabytes of memory. So I was strapped in the technology department, let's put it to you that way. Whereas the prosecution couldn't get a 36-second tape to roll in full without fizzling out or going into shock. The judge constantly would look at that tape and find out where exactly it looked altered, and it was right near the fizzy part of it. Like, they had cut the tape and then placed something there instead. It was kind of like a old-timey type of Adobe Photoshop. It was weird. Like, they just put another clip in there to make it look like something else, and the judge was like, I'm not taking this evidence. But with my evidence, nothing was messed with, nothing was done, because I showed a judge, if I did use anything, you would see Adobe right in the category of the camera footage, because there would be no other way to edit the footage without having Adobe somewhere on the screen, which I didn't have Adobe at the time. But yeah, I showed her with a example fixture, like with my example template that was on the actual sheet of my social science thing. with social sciences, they always put like the Adobe player and they put all that other stuff on there. With Adobe, it runs the thing and then it also stops clips. But with my camera, it was tamper-proof because it was AI. AIs usually just put it into a sample disk and then they like modify it into a category. So a lot of my tapes are like the same day, but it's in a different category because it categorizes it as the same activity. So if it's the same activity, it just kind of goes together and then it makes one video. And that's all the AI does, is that it fits it together like, oh, this happened when this happened, and then this happened when this happened. So it tries to piece together an entire 5-hour video, which I think is cool. So we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. We have disconnecting from what stabilizes you, feeling sick with the lack of energy, overworking yourself, ignoring relationships, not loving and nurturing the great land of ours. So my team was exhausted. I know the judge was exhausted. She even said that. But I was exhausted. My attorney was exhausted. My other attorney was exhausted. And it was just a lot of things. It was a lot of things. So, yeah. It was exhaustion on all levels. I was exhausted. My attorney was exhausted. My other attorney was exhausted. And the judge was exhausted. Because, like, the witnesses had to prove that they were reliable people to be prosecution against me. So that's why they were kind of character witnesses to everything. But yeah, my attorney just disqualified them all as potential prosecutors in my case, because they had to prove that they could be consistent, or they could ask a question that wasn't kind of vulgar. And when they did vulgar comments or made comments that were lewd in any way, they were disqualified. That witness was disqualified. The police officer was disqualified because of racial profiling, and he even admitted to using that system to racial profile me. So, proof. So they both got disqualified as witnesses and as prosecution for me in my case. So make wise decision, take the path your heart leads to. Despite of the challenges, consider that the decisions and choices you make in your life, trust the ability to find your own way. The reason why we went through with the trial is that there was a statement that had to be made on behalf of the neighborhood as well as my property and my mother's property. It just had to be said in the middle of court. So I was just like, it doesn't matter what happens to me, but my mom needs that vindication of everybody in the room knowing, and it's on record. Which I thought was brilliant. 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups in reverse. We have pleasing others and not yourself. Abandoning your dreams